Good morning. Hey, what's up, folks? This is Brian Kuzmar. We're commercial rare coins and precious metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Got a little different cam up here, and look at that water. Just absolutely gorgeous out there, blue. Man, I should have gone out fishing today. I've got the young ladies out here playing volleyball. And again, this is the live Deerfield beach cam. Didn't do the fish cam. Figured I'd do a little something different today. Well, let's see, man. Lots of stuff going on out here. And let me see if I can close that window here a little better. There we go. Go into what we're going to talk about. Not volleyball or fishing. We're going to talk about precious metals. I'm going to do a little something different here, too. I've been asked by a friend of mine, Gerald, to maybe put some buy prices out there. You know, maybe I've had it asked backwards for a long time. Oftentimes I give out what the current selling prices are in precious metals, and I never really tell you what the buy prices are. And I'm going to get into that a little bit. But first, let's take a look at what the closing markets were on Friday. $4,085, and you can see, look at that range, 42 to 4,035 bucks, almost a $200 range there, not quite, but almost a $200 range there in gold. And when you're sitting at $4,000 gold, $200, I mean, it seems like a lot. Especially when it was 1,200, 1,500, 1,800, 24, 3,000 maybe. But when we're up in that the $200 range doesn't seem abnormal, especially now. And silver kind of, it does seem a little abnormal for silver, but wow, crazy rides on silver. I've always said that. Highs of 53. 55 and a low of 50. So, I mean, look at that, man, like a $3 plus range there if you take a look at the high and the low in the world markets there. And wow, that's just crazy stuff. And it seems to have recovered. I mean, we never quite broke below that $47 mark. If we did, it was very little during intraday trading. And, and it kind of, we rebounded to this $50 mark. I mean, are we done with seeing sub 50? Not quite sure. I'm pretty sure we're done seeing sub 40 and sub 35 for sure. Well, never say for sure, folks. Never underestimate the power of people that have printing presses and access to trading platforms that we don't have. And, wow, just craziness, and platinum, 1544, 1612 to 1528, a little bit closer range there, but still within $100. And for a metal that's only $1,500, that's pretty substantial percentage-wise. Platinum, and again, I'll say this, I've said this over the last couple of years, has been a tell for me. If you're watching gold and silver and platinum prices, like, minute to minute, every 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you got it on your ticker, and you start to see platinum go down, starts to go in the red, like you see the red that I got right here, and silver's still in the green, gold's in the green, and it stays in the red for a little bit, starts to tick in the red. That's my tell that silver's going to get knocked a little bit too. And, it almost works every time. Now, does this work on the medium and long term? No, it doesn't. But short term, it's worked for me pretty well. So anyway, where are we going with that? I don't know. I'm just kind of giving some of my secrets here, my industry secrets. And what's the problem with those tells is they work great until they don't, and there's times when I'm sure it's been reversed like that as well. Where are we going to go with this? Well, gold, I mean, come on, folks. Since you started listening to me, where was gold? $1,200, and silver was probably $12 when I first started these videos, 15 maybe. Platinum, man, as low as at one point, 800, 900. I hope you got some of that. I did. I loaded up when no one wanted it. And palladium, who knew? Who knows? I don't know anything about palladium. So there's our markets right now, folks. And let's take a look at some other things here real quick. Start page. Why don't I have a start page up there with absolutely nothing? All right, I'll keep that fresh for you. And let's just take a look at the other markets. What happened on Friday? I mean, it was a sea of red here. Everything except I think crude oil was up a little bit green, but almost a sea of red here, except for NASDAQ, which surprised me because I thought NASDAQ was down. And the little correlation, again, I know nothing about Bitcoin. and NASDAQ probably more than likely. But there seemed to be a correlation between NASDAQ and Bitcoin for a while, but I haven't seen that correlation. I mean, take a look at that. NASDAQ in the green, Bitcoin in the red, sub 100,000 in Bitcoin. Gold, again, showing on the U.S. markets down. Again, see a red there on a Friday. Probably dollar strength. We could take a look at that. Hang on. What was the cause of that? What was the DX? Let's see. I'll do my little simple way I look at a DXY. Oh, there it is. Dollar. I always look at Market Watch. I don't know. I just type in DXY. It comes up 99.27. No, I don't want to be a better trader. 99.27. And let's see here. Was that, I don't know, just sideways? I mean, I don't see anything up a little bit, but would that make markets across the board drop like they did? No. I doubt it. Let's see. I don't know. It's tough to say what's going on out there. Silver, again, on the futures market. Take a look at that, 3.37%. That's huge. That's huge. And then it rides it back up a little bit more, back above that $50. I mean, look, down 3.3%, still closes at $50. So I think we're okay, folks. I mean, it's my opinion. If we do see some big dips, my opinion, again, question authority, question me, question the talking heads, question the experts, whatever. And I don't pretend to be an expert in foretelling future markets either. However, it would be of my opinion that, if you see big dips downward, I would tend to probably buy those. Me personally would tend to buy those big dips downward. And, if you're still adding to silver, if you're still buying more silver, that's my opinion. Probably gold too as well. Just add. You see the big dips, you can buy the little dips small, buy the big dips big. What does that mean? I don't know. I'm not an expert. So let's take a look here. What's going on out there in like gold news and stuff? Supply squeeze continues in gold and silver. I believe that. Washington State coin and bullion shops prepare to be driven out by taxes. Really? They're gonna run up sales tax again in Washington State? Well, that's the problem with some of these states. They just 1 second here. Let me get a sip of coffee. That's a problem with some of these states. They just all right, I won't go into it, but that's bad for any Washington State people because now you got to order out of the state. Otherwise, you're going to get hit with a heavy sales tax. And then some of these states are trying to get reciprocal tax. From if you buy it out of state, you still got to pay us. Totally unconstitutional. But states don't care about the Constitution, folks. Remember that they don't. It's the government that should care about the Constitution. The federal government, that's their job. The federal government's job is to be the justice system for the people against the states. When states screw up, when states make unconstitutional laws, when states do bad things in communities, the federal government's original role was to enforce the Constitution. So to go to the state of California or go to the state of Washington and say, okay, no. This violates our Constitution. That gold and silver, should be considered money by Congress or whatever. Okay, you got my point here. But does the federal government do that? No, they just add on to these onerous laws and help support states be unconstitutional. So the function of the federal government is completely screwed and backwards now. I mean, their role originally was to protect the people against state abuses, and all they do is just add to it. All right, let me move along here. Raids on gold and silver just fuel Chinese demand. As you know, there's a lot of people out there I listen to, and I would imagine that it's just flying out of London, flying out of New York, and it's going into Chinese hands and hands in India and outside this country. When real wealth just leaves the country, I mean, that's not good. And what's happening is fiat is flooding back into the United States, while these type of hard assets that we should be trying to keep in the U.S. are flooding out. I mean, I know there's a lot of talk out there that that the current administration is trying to pull in more assets in this country, get more gold, get more silver, but they certainly aren't encouraging their citizens to do it. Maybe they're doing it themselves, but they are certainly not pushing their citizens to do it. All right, let's move on there. Italian government eyes family gold and hunt for budget funds. I guess the Italian royal family or whatever's left of it or whomever it was, there goes your treasure there. But, I guess it really belongs to the people after all, doesn't it? You know what's funny is that it's just like the U.S. gold at Fort Knox, if it exists, all right? Whatever happened to the audit, by the way. If the gold exists, you know, they pull it out just like Italy will do right now. Instead of using it to like further mankind, further their people, further the goals and the aspirations and the dreams of the people that live in that country and who really own that wealth. Again, like Fort Knox Gold. They don't do that. They use it to pay for their mistakes. They use it to cover up their mistakes. They use it to, Band-Aid over their mistakes, which is, just another form of theft. Once they've done stealing everything, they start to go for the national treasures. All right. China's secret of gold purchase helped fuel record rally. Very interesting stuff there if you haven't read it. My Financial Times, I don't hate anybody, but Financial Times, I don't know, just another mainstream corporate bullshit publication, in my opinion, and out of London to boot, right? When it comes to China and gold sales and stuff, there's a couple people that I follow. Where is X? Let me see if I can put X up here. I'll show you. Who's the guy that I like on X? I'm going to give him a little kudos here. Two guys out here. And where are they? Let's see here. Eric Ewing, there we go. Okay, now I'm not being too useful here. I'm showing my weak points. All right, I can't even spell Eric correctly, but Eric, there he is right there. All right, sorry. I know a lot of you saying, what are you doing, Brian? This gentleman, when it comes to gold and silver, very, very intelligent and understands the market, the Asian market, probably as well as a lot of people out there online. And there's another gentleman out there, and what's his name? I think it's, here we go again, right? There we go. This guy, another gentleman to follow too. So if you're looking for good info coming out of the East, coming out of the Asian markets, those are definitely the two people that you want to follow. Eric Ewing on X and Bai Zhang, I think it is. Forgive me if I butchered that. And okay, let's move along from there. I hear some kind of buzzy. Somebody must be, boy, I hate those things. What are those? The air blowing machines that blow leaf blowers. There we go, leaf blowers. I don't know why they can't make them out of electric. They always got to be these little two-stroke things that sound like angry bumblebees. Okay, there we go. You get to enjoy it with me. If you can hear it, sorry about that. So anyways, where were we there? We're just kind of going over the news and stuff. What if you had bought gold or silver with your pandemic stimulus money? You would have doubled your money. That's pretty much a no-brainer. But what did people do with their stimulus money? Bought some cool things to play with while they were off of work. All right. I can't blame you. Come on. I bought fishing equipment, and so I didn't get stimulus, though. Well, anyways, for the folks that did, it looks like they had a good time with it. However, sometimes short-term good time doesn't always help out in the long term. All right. Let's get into what I said I was going to do. Gold. I'm always giving you guys prices on what I sell gold for, okay? I'm going to kind of give you some ideas what we're buying gold for. Now, there's some fluidity to these prices a little bit. Remember, these premiums, these buy prices and these sell prices I can give you can change at any given moment. They're not static, okay? They can stay the same for a day, a week, 2 weeks. I've even seen premiums kind of stay the same for as long as a month, really, with slight changes in all the different products. However, for the most part, they do kind of stay solid, but I just kind of want to give you that caveat. All right. Now, one of the products I'm going to start out with is, it's not even in the shot right here, is Gold American Eagles. And if you don't know what a Gold American Eagle looks like, then I could show you, but hey, you could look it up yourself there. That's a pretty shot. I'm going to keep moving around like some ADD child that I am. And let's see, 20 plus gold American Eagles. All right, I'm going to use my 20 plus bid on this. But and again, there's a lot of fluidity to this. Prices can be a little bit higher, a little bit lower than this. But for the most part, if you bring me in gold eagles last week, all right, for this last week, you'll see what happens tomorrow. New markets tomorrow. Might be new spreadsheets, might not. Maybe I'll be at this bid. But last week, I was at the gold price plus $10 for American Gold Eagles. Big spread on this, folks. And you know what? I'm going to go both ways. Profit is not a dirty word. The spreads are large on this. I don't create the spreads. I have to deal with wholesale bid and ask myself, just like you guys do to some degree. Gets passed along somewhere. Occasionally, if we buy a large deal, at our bid here in the store, and I can pass it along to a customer cheaper, we will do that. If we have excess inventory, we'll definitely do that. But let me kind of get into the spreads on here. So, and this is for 20 plus more ounces, all right? We're at plus 10 on American Gold Eagles. We're at 185 over, so that's basically $175 spread on American Eagles. So we're paying plus 10 for Gold Eagles, and we're selling for plus $185. Buffalo's a little bit different story there, and interestingly enough, we're paying plus $40 on gold American Buffaloes. So if you got gold Buffaloes, it'd be the gold bid plus $40. Boy, here's the sucky point is and we're asking plus $245. I would not recommend, and let me get into that in a second here. $245, so that's a hell of a spread. That's a $200 spread, folks. And here, a lot of people, if you know me and you've been into our store before, and you come in and you ask us, hey, what's the price on Gold Eagles and Buffaloes? We'd probably grimace at these numbers, and we'd tell you, listen, it's just too high. We're not going to recommend, Gold Eagles or Buffaloes at this level. I mean, I know they're popular products, but the premiums are just ridiculous. The spreads are ridiculous. And remember, we don't create these spreads, okay? And there's better products to buy, and I'm going to get into that one right now, the better product to buy. So, I mean, again, we're at plus 10 when we're buying Gold Eagles. We're at plus 185 when we're selling them. We're at plus $40 on buffs right now. I guess there's a big need for buffs out there while it lasts. If you're selling, maybe you should get it now. Replace it with a cheaper product, maybe, if you can work that arbitrage. $245 over for buffs. Absolutely ridiculous. If you're buying Buffaloes, you're just crazy. Eagles, even, in my opinion. Now, here's the real deal out here. Here's the best deal out here. And the spread's still kind of relative. Think about the spread here, folks, that I'm giving. 200 on buffs, 175 on American Eagles. Now, we tell people when they come in, I've told this for years, buy the least expensive premium that you can, because, it's all relative, and you're never going to get a high premium back, all right? Here's a good example of that, where you're going to get paid similar and you didn't pay the high premium for the product. But Krugerrands, currently, we're at minus $100 per coin, but we sell them at spot plus 85. So that's $185, all right? And that's certainly very reasonable. And if you're buying, you certainly want to be paying $85 over, not 245 like a Buffalo, not 185 like an American Eagle. So again, we couldn't, with a straight face, not tell you that Krugerrands are a far superior deal than Eagles and Buffaloes right now. So let's move on to Maple Leafs right now, another product that seems to be somewhat reasonable, but you know what I don't like about Maples and Buffaloes, actually, but Maples even more, they're so easy to scratch. And when the markets get tight and the big wholesalers get tight, they get picky. Oh, you got a scratch on it, you got a red spot. And they say, seriously, you'd figure these big billion or $1 million companies that do, well, we're a multi-million dollar company, these multi-billion dollar companies that do these huge bullion deals would, oh, no. But anyway, that's why I don't like Maples. They're easy to scratch, they're easy to mess up. And they're just kind of ugly too. I'm sorry, they are. That's no reason to buy or not buy a product, by the way, because Krugerrands are super ugly, but again, price point is great. Currently on Maple Leafs, we're at minus $40 and plus $130. That's kind of more of a reasonable spread if you think about it. That actually is a really good spread on a buy and sell. If you could, again, some kind of arbitrage there with the other products working between those spreads. So there you go. And a lot of you guys are going to ask me, Brian, you're giving us a fixed number. All right. Well, I've always given a fixed number. I'm going to have to raise it at some point, but I don't do percentages really, and that kind of works for buyers in a big degree, and because you'll get a better deal, because we do a flat rate. I do a flat rate. I don't do a percentage. But for those of you that want to figure out what I just said in percentages, I'm going to keep it like real simple math. I'm not a big math guy myself, but just think that 1% of 4,000 is $40. 1% of 4,500 is what? $45. Okay. So just figure, do it 1% in your head. So if you want to know what 2% is of $4,000, well, what is that? 1% would be 40. 2% would be 80. So you got $80 there, right? And 3%, obviously, just add on another 40, 120. So just, do it simple in your head. If you're trying to figure out percentages, on $5,000, and just trying to help you out there so you can quickly do it. I can show you how my simple Forrest Gump method here works for me. And let's get into some other products here, what I'm buying it for as well, and selling. Like I said, profit's not a dirty word. Now, remember, when I say selling these products, I'm referring to our retail selling price, what we sell here in the store, not, for example, like say, if for example, a customer comes in and sells me 100 Krugerrands, and I'm stocked. I got a couple hundred already. Don't need another 100 Krugerrands. So the customer, so I'm buying from the customer, and this is how we buy all the time. We buy under the major wholesalers and distributors who we deal with. A lot, if you folks don't really have privy to these folks, and there are a handful of people out there that do this. They make spreads. They only work with other dealers, period. Those are the true wholesalers out there. They don't deal with the public. They don't deal, they just deal with dealers only. And the guys that make these spreads that I'm talking about, where was I going with the spreads? Oh, it's kind of so easy to get lost here. Let me get another sip of coffee here. I guess I could roll this back and look, but the guys that make the spreads, there we go, are the guys that we will sell our excess inventory to, and the guys that we sell our excess inventory to will, they don't pay. I'd start giving you some numbers here, but I'd start really pissing off some of the wholesale and the retail guys out there if I started doing that. For some reason, again, people think profit's a dirty word, but I really don't think it's that much. Well, here, I'm going to make it simple for you. We're working probably on a $65, $70 per coin profit when we're buying and selling. So, just reverse this video and subtract $65 or so, and you kind of figure out what the wholesale markets are. So we're $65 on our bid and ask within the real wholesale markets out there, folks. And what I was saying is that when we get excess coins in, we will sell them to a wholesaler, unless I have a big order or someone happens just to walk in at the right moment. And, then we'll sell that deal to them for a little bit of discount. But for the most part, these are my retail selling prices, okay? Wholesale, let's have Philharmonics. There's a Philharmonic. Well, I thought I saw one in there. No, there's Maple Leaf Philharmonics. Nuggets and British, not even a British one in there, okay? British... what the heck are they called? All right, forget about it. Roosters, too. And do I see there's a rooster right there. Here's the price on them. We're currently a buyer at spot, minus $80, more or less 2%. If you did the math, if you listened to what I was just telling you. Spot, minus $80, and we're a seller at spot plus $100, $180 spread there, of course. Kind of reasonable as well. I've always like the next product, which is 1 ounce bars. You can see those here in plastic. And I've always enjoyed I thought they were great value, but not anymore for some reason. They've always been cheaper than the sovereign products. And when I say sovereign products, coins made by, countries, United States, British, South Africa, not by private companies. They've always been a better deal, but not so. Not so recently. Take a look at this. I couldn't, with a straight face, even recommend bars to some degree. Now, this price on my buy side might be a little skewed because I can't tell if it's with or without cards, which does make a difference by 10 or 20 bucks. But we're currently bidding at minus $100, which is a little bit over 2%, on 2.5 or something like that. Yeah. On 1 ounce gold bars. That's probably without cards. And then with cards, we're a seller at 110. That's a $210 spread, 210 spread. Without cards, you can probably you could probably lower the ask a little bit on the sell side. And that's what it is on gold, folks. That's the different gold products. Now, foreign gold that represents sovereigns and this kind of stuff. You see sovereigns in here. And there's a French 20 franc, it looks like. I don't see too many other, mostly sovereigns. Old queens, new kings, old kings. Foreign gold coins, including the 50 peso there, which was really a popular coin at one time, and now nobody really cares. That stuff depends on the quantity that you're selling. I mean, we're buyers on some of that foreign gold probably around as little as 95%. And probably as much as 97% of melt, maybe even a melt on some products, depends. Occasionally we'll need, for example, give me 1 second, let me see if there's anything that we're looking for right now. And you know what that is? The only thing that we'd be paying like 98, 99% for, or close to melt for, would be sovereigns. Old kings and old queens are going to be like almost close to melt, folks. You know what I mean? So we're going to be paying 98 or 99% on those, on the British sovereigns that you see right here. Sovereign. And that's pretty much it, like 50 pesos and stuff. Let me just double check and see where my sheet is on 50 pesos. There we go. Yeah. No, all that stuff is under melt. But again, we're very competitive too, as you guys know. We actually buy from a lot of other dealers across South Florida, including pawn shops and who else? Jewelers and other dealers and stuff. We're really known for our strength in silver. We're strong silver buyers out there. We're very strong scrap buyers, as you may know. I hope I kind of helped you out with some gold prices there, folks, and gave you some ideas of what we're paying for stuff. Now on scrap prices, scrap gold prices. That's a whole different element. When you go to sell scrap gold, folks, it's not, not like selling gold bars. It's not like selling gold coins, scrap, 14 karat, 10 karat, 18 karat. And a lot of times it's not even 10, 14, and 18. It has to be tested. So there's a lot of big spread on scrap gold. And don't ever buy scrap gold as an investment. Too hard for most folks. And I don't think you do well with it at all. If you have scrap gold, you can hold it like you'd hold your Krugerrands. Don't sell it. You're going to get more money for it, but don't buy it. That's what I'm saying. Don't go out and buy scrap gold actively. Again, you probably won't do well. But scrap gold, big spreads on those. And here's the reason why. They're not instantaneously sold. A lot of the products I was just showing you, Krugerrands, Eagles, just bids for them. I mean, there's instantaneous bids like cash, like $100 bills. Just boom, you can get rid of them just like that. Scrap, no, you got to accumulate it. And unless you're hedging it, you have to take a lot of market risk, and then you've got to get enough of it to send off to a refiner, and the refiner is not going to pay you spot. They're going to pay you under spot. And again, market risk, what's the gold price going to be? You can't lock it in until you actually send it to your refiner, again, unless you've hedged yourself somehow. So scrap is big difference. So your Cuban link bracelet, your spoon from the 80s hanging off your rope chain, and your mother's charm bracelet, all that stuff gets heavily discounted below scrap. Anyway, just figured I'd mention that to you. Let's talk about platinum a little bit, because I didn't put a platinum screen up here, and before we get to silver. Platinum is kind of the same way. American Platinum Eagles. Now mind you, it's about half the price of gold, so the premiums are kind of substantial. But American Platinum Eagles, there must be a good demand for them, because we're at plus $15. So platinum price plus $15 on Platinum Eagles. We're a seller at plus $170. 1 ounce bars, platinum bars, we're at minus $35, and a seller at $105. Really tight spreads on platinum. They're not too bad, but again, platinum half the price. All right, percentage wise, it probably makes sense. 1 ounce maple leafs, we're at -10, and we're at plus 125 on 1 ounce platinum maple leaves. Folks, and also when you're getting up into larger numbers, when you're getting up to a lot more coins, I'll pay more and I'll sell for less. I mean, quantity is everything. I'm just kind of giving you some ideas in that 20, that 20 quantity, if you're buying 20 or selling 20, that kind of deal. Again, if you're selling like 1 or 2, 1 to 5 or something like that, it's a little bit less. So I wanted to make sure that caveat, I discussed that. Caveat is the word of the day, by the way. And if you're listening to this at evening, every time you hear me say caveat, take a drink of whatever you got in your hand. It's going to make coffee for me right now. Okay. Let's see here. Silver. Let's move into silver where the spreads are crazier. All right. I'm going to give you my buying and selling spreads on silver. I don't even like them myself. And when I talk about silver eagles, blah, all right? Not too fond of them, but the bids on silver are just horrible. And I'll tell you why, because very few American buyers out there, very few stackers out there buying silver at these levels. A lot of people that buy silver, the 1% or less, not even 1%, 0.5%, if that, of Americans that actively buy gold and silver bars and coins, they're bought in. They're bought in. They're done. And the rest of the public really is clueless. I hear, I heard gold's up, heard silver's up, but restly clueless. They're in their 401ks and their pension plans, which are going to get hammered at some point. And their real estate. So, they don't, they're going to buy gold and silver. That's why retail gold and silver prices are off the hook, but it ain't because Americans are out there buying gold and silver, folks. Okay. Someone else is. And that's all explainable in Asia and other markets and countries buying this kind of stuff and, industrial people. All right. Let's get into silver real quick here. On 1 ounce generic rounds, which has always been my favorite choice. This spread is wide, man. The negativity. I don't like the negativity, but let's see here. It don't even look like the best deal anymore, is it? $1.50. You know what? Hang on 1 second here. That may be incorrect on there. I think it is. It is incorrect. All right, 1 ounce. Yeah, my sheet was incorrect here. All right, we're sellers at $1.40 over or less on 1 ounce generic rounds, depending on the quantity that you're buying. We are buyers at, give me 1 second here. That's a screw up. We're at buyers at spot minus $2.50. My sheet said 3 1/4. I better tell the staff. We're at spot minus $2.50 on generics, $2.50, $3.50, $3.90. And again, I'm cheaper than SD, Bullion, Atmex, and the other guys online. You can check it yourself on this stuff. And I'm a very strong buyer as well. And I still think that spread sucks. But it is what it is. You and I don't make these spreads. The big boys make these spreads. 1 ounce American Silver Eagles. I'm going to be a buyer in quantity on Silver Eagles. Let me just kind of check. I want to make sure all my spreads here. Occasionally we get it wrong on our sheets. Let me just take a look there. And yeah, actually, I'm going to have to raise my price there a little bit. On 1 ounce American Silver Eagles, on larger quantities or 500 or less, we're at spot plus $8. And we are a reseller at spot plus $5.75. How's that on them apples? So spot plus $1 and Silver Eagles, spot plus. Do not buy Silver Eagle, folks. I know I got people that love them, but don't buy them. I mean, at spot plus $5.75. And again, in larger quantities, I can do better prices on the bids and asks that I'm giving you. But, average $5.75 over, come on, man. That's just crazy. All right, silver maples, we're a buyer at spot minus, here we go, minus $1.75. And again, I'm just cross-checking my sheet here. Okay, that sounds, you know what? Probably spot minus $1.50. That's my sheet seems to be off by 1/4 on some of these quantities. So 1 ounce silver maples, we'd be buyer on less than 500. Spot plus, where'd it go again? Doggone it. Silver maple leaves. Spot plus, oh gosh, went right by it. Spot plus $2.75 and spot plus $1.50. I mean, no, sorry, minus $1.50. Okay, on 1 ounce silver maples. Boy, screwing that one up. Morgan dollars, which you see in the background, folks. Man, they just taken a crap. I mean, the collectors aren't buying them anymore. They're not paying any collector value for like most grades, most conditions. I mean, here's the crazy thing: is you can buy a silver dollar from the early 1900s, 1800s for and new condition for like the silver price, the melt price plus 15 or $20. So you can buy BU silver dollar $65 or $70 for a brand new 1880 silver dollar. That's because the collectors aren't buying them at that level. They think they're overpriced with the price of silver, so they're not buying. Here's the thing, though, as a coin collector, and you know I'm a coin nerd. I've been doing coins a long time, rare coins, know better than anybody down here. Well, not everybody down here, but, in my area. Well, maybe not, but I'm good. I just can't imagine that I'm going to be taking silver dollars from the 1800s, 1881s, San Francisco Mint dollars that are like, really like MS-60, 61s, schlocky looking, but still brand new. And will I be throwing them in my 55-gallon drum and melting them? I hope not. They're already melting the low-grade ones like you see right here, and that one right there, and like that one's probably cleaned. So they're already melting that kind of stuff. So, I mean, are they going to be melting the new dollars? What happens if silver gets to, what happens when silver gets to $100 an ounce, $125 an ounce? What's going to happen to all those collectible numismatic stuff out there? I mean, sadly, a lot of it's going to get melted, folks. All right, so I talked about that. Now, the next one we're going to talk about is 90% constitutional silver, which does not represent silver dollars, but is half dollars, dimes, and quarters prior to 1964. If you were going to buy silver and you're going to wait and hold for a little bit, you can't beat the price of 90%. I mean, we're selling it at spot minus 75 cents right now. Spot minus 75 cents, folks. And again, larger quantities, even less. So you can buy constitutional 90% silver for under spot. And when we're buying it, we're at like, let me just check that number because it seems to be a quarter off. We're at spot minus $5 right now. Holy smokes on, wow, spot minus $5 on, and I might work a quarter on that, but on 90% on the buy prices, that is pretty substantial. Let me do bars for you before I get out of here. 10s and 100-ounce bars. As you can see, 1-ounce bars right there, but nobody sells 1-ounce bars hardly anymore. Everybody buys 1-ounce rounds, so let's just skip to 10-ounce bars or rounds, whatever. We're currently a buyer at spot. Again, I want to check because this thing seems to be off by a quarter. My sheet here. We're at spot minus $2.50 on 10-ounce bars. Yep, spot minus $2.50. And we're at spot plus $1.40 on 10-ounce bars. Okay. And on kilo bars, same thing. We're at spot minus $2.50 on kilo bars, and a seller at spot plus $1.40. 100-ounce bars, spot minus $2.50, and a seller at spot plus $1.40. And again, remember, folks, these premiums and discounts change all the time. May not even be good tomorrow by the time you hear this. We do get updates to the sheet, but last week, pretty much all last week, if you got any product you sold last week or you're paying attention to, and you can compare this to, that was pretty much the spreads for last week. Didn't change much at all. Can't make any promise for tomorrow, but again, Gerald asked me to do this out of Miami. He says, "Hey, Brian, why don't you kind of put up some buy prices? The other people are doing it. It might be good." And there you go. There's some buy prices for you guys. Maybe I'll start doing more if you hit me up in the comment section and say you like that. I'll do it for you. Okay, where are we going from here? Last week's videos, it wasn't last week. It's been like 3 weeks since I did a video. I was in Lakeland, Florida, running the Collectorama show for my father, who had passed away. It's my new job. I took over. And a great show, by the way, the Collectorama show, 3 times a year. Let me pull that page up for you because I actually wanted somebody. Oh, man, I wish I remember the young man that came up to me. I am so honored that someone asked me for an autograph. Embarrassed, but honest, honored. Says he listens to me, follows me on X as well. Met me at the show here. But here's the future shows for the upcoming Collectorama shows. We've got, this one's gone. She's gone and passed. February 26th, June, and December 26th. So if you want to meet me in person, come to the show. And the show's really cool because there is gold coins, silver coins, all kinds of cool stuff at this show. So it's in Lakeland, Florida. It's 6 hours from everywhere. And the hotels there are really nice as well. Don't forget to follow this guy, and don't forget to follow, hang on a second, Eric. Eric, where is Eric? Let me see if I can find him again. There you go, Eric Jung. Again, if you're interested in foreign markets, that's pretty much it. Oh, and most important here, well, besides my advertising I'm going to get to in a moment, listen, I'll do it right now. If you're looking to buy, sell gold, silver, platinum coins, or bars, and you live in South Florida, we're the place to come to. There's a lot of great people, but we're very competitive. And who do you want to beat? You want to beat the great people, and that's what we do. So we'll beat the great people here in South Florida that may have stores. We'll also beat Atmex, SD, JM Bullion, also great companies, and we're proud that we can beat them in their price. But, hey, listen, we'll sneak right under them and a little bit over them if we need to, and they know it. And what else? If you're looking to buy gold and silver and platinum, you don't live in South Florida, we do larger deals over the phone via traditional methods of wires and other things. But if you're not buying larger quantities, I just not set up like SD, Atmex, and JM for insurance and all that stuff to get your packages to you properly and cheaply. In that case, again, and even with me, always check with your local guys. See if you got a good local dealer that'll work within the spreads that you're comfortable with. And if you find one, that's better than my prices, you find one better than Atmex, SD, and JM, stick with them. If they're good with you, honest, stay loyal. And don't forget, you're going to have to sell this stuff one day as well. So that's really important. And again, I wanted to tell you, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button here somewhere on my videos. I was going to go over the videos from 3 weeks ago, comments, but God, most of you guys probably forgot what you said already, so I'll get back to doing that at some point too. And I think that's it, folks. This is Brian Kuzma with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. If you're looking to buy, sell gold, silver, and platinum in any types of forms, we also do rare coins. We have an antique and jewelry store as well. Come visit us. We're open 10 to 4 Mondays through Fridays. We are a real, true brick and mortar store. Love to have your business. And again, if you don't live in our area, check with the local guys, man. Always a good idea. Hey, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day, and let's see what the markets do tonight when they open. Bye now.